Just to get this out of the way, I use a Power AA GameCube controller, which has an additional button when compared to a regular one, so I couldn't use
My God, are you still talking?
I highly recommend assigning jump, neutral special, and neutral attack onto their own buttons. Tom and Jerry are of the mage archetype, meaning that they specialize in keeping their distance. This makes them harder to play since you have to utilize their entire kit to be able to play them to their fullest potential. However, just because they are considered mages, it does not mean that they can't be played up close and personal. Neutral attack, volley. The main purpose of volley is to reflect projectiles. You can use this move to reflect either your tennis balls, jerry corks, or dynamites. When both are reflected, corks and balls fly at the same speed, but corks will do more damage. When using volley to reflect, the trajectory of the projectile can be angled up or down by using the left stick. The more you charge, the faster the reflected projectiles fly. I couldn't find a list of what is and isn't considered a heavy projectile, so a good rule of thumb is that if a projectile doesn't look like it can be reflected, don't try to reflect it. While you can cancel the charging for the grounded version of volley by dodging or jumping, this is not true while using it in the air. Having assigned this move onto its own button, I can use it while moving or jumping in the air without having any misinputs. Forward tilt, mallet time.
Oh, I missed!
This move is great for conversions. I will explain this shortly. You can animation cancel only the second and third swings of this attack. The first and last swings will have too much lag, so it is always better to go for the second or third swing. You can implement a dodge in between the second or third swing as a way to approach. The first swing takes a while, so don't try to contest others with it too often. Because the final hit of this move has so much end lag, it shouldn't really be used that often. It is always better to go for the second or third swing, cancelling out of the move, then ending the string with another move such as an up tilt or an aerial. Up tilt, paddle paddle paddle. The longer you charge this move, the more Tom will hit the paddle. Tom is able to move around while charging and while hitting the paddle ball. This move will not kill at higher damage, but it will lead to kills. Due to how fast this move comes out, how long it can stay out, and the disjointed hitbox, it is great as an anti-air and for racking up chip damage. You can cancel out of this move while charging with a dodge or a jump. Once you release the move, the only window where you can start cancelling the rest of the move is after Tom has hit the paddle ball at least once. Any input before that will not go through as intended, especially if you inputted a jump. Down tilt, feline pounce. The more you charge this move, the farther Tom goes. The best thing about this move is that it has armor breaking property. Due to the very low hitbox, the only times where you should use this move is to edgeguard. There's not a situation where you can use down tilt and it will be the most optimal choice, unless you're against a character that heavily relies on armor like Wonder Woman and Superman. Their down tilt can be animation cancelled only if you hit something. Unlike his paddle and volley, this move cannot be cancelled mid-charge. Forward air, scratch cat. Tom does 2 swipes, that's literally it. Since the knockback for it is too much to capitalize off of at higher damage, it is best to use this move as a landing option to end off a string of attacks or kill off stage. There isn't anything too special about this move, it's just your standard forward air. Up air, trash can band. This move contains a sweet spot and a sour spot. A sweet spot is the area of the move that has the highest knockback, while the sour spot is the opposite. On the move description, it is said that the sweet spot is where the lids collide, but from my experience, the most consistent results of getting a sweet spot is from the peak of the hitbox. The sour spot is just everywhere else. Catching an enemy in the air with the sweet spot will kill them much earlier than bouncing them off the ground with your down air. Down air, cast iron crusher. It sounds funny, it looks goofy, and it's true to its name, it is a crusher. This is one of their best kill moves while on and off stage. On the stage, it will start killing at over 120 and catching an enemy around 50 to 70 off stage will land you a kill. Jerry. When Jerry is no longer with Tom, he will do one of two things. He will shoot corks or hit Tom's balls. The amount of corks Jerry can carry changes when he's picked up by an ally. Any ally that picks up Jerry will be granted the cheese buff, increasing their damage. You can trigger a Jerry cork by only attacks, so using special will not trigger it. Jerry will shoot out a cork in the direction that Tom is facing when he is attacking. This also applies for when Tom is in the air. However, when Tom uses volley, Jerry will always shoot his cork in the direction of Tom. While Jerry is returning the ball, he is able to hit the enemies. If Jerry is alive on the stage somewhere, there will be an arrow around Tom that indicates the location of Jerry. To retrieve Jerry, you either run up to him, attack him, or use your side special, the fishing rod. Keep in mind that when you're using your fishing rod to get Jerry back, he can only be retrieved if you hit him with your lure on the way back.
Miss.
Hitting him with the fishing line will not do anything.
Miss.
Neutral special, slingshot sharpshooter. Or Jerry shot for short because the name is too long. While holding Jerry shot, the move can only be cancelled by dodging. This is also true in the air. There are two versions of this move. One is with Jerry and the other is without Jerry. With Jerry by your side, you shoot Jerry with a slingshot. Jerry is considered a heavy projectile and is able to contest other heavy projectiles such as Bug's rocket, but you will lose him in the process. If Tom doesn't have Jerry by his side but Jerry is alive somewhere on the stage, Tom will shoot tennis balls in Jerry's direction. If Jerry is deceased, Tom just shoot out tennis balls that deals 1 damage with no knockback. Tom is only able to hold 3 tennis balls at one time. Shooting balls at an enemy Jerry will result in the Jerry hitting your balls back at you. Not sure if this is a feature or a bug, but I like to think that Jerry doesn't discriminate and will hit any ball that's flying towards him. To precisely aim Jerry, it is only up or down. Holding to the side, then aiming will only result in 3 options: high, straight, or low. Once Jerry hits the ground when slingshotted, he will bounce, and depending on the angle of how he was shot, it will change on how high he goes. Jerry will bounce the highest when shot directly down, a decent sized bounce when shot directly in the air, and the shortest bounce when shot out straight. Why does this matter? It's because until Jerry lands from that bounce, he will retain a hitbox the entire time. Up special, Rocket Mouse.
Oh shit!
There are 4 versions of this move. On the ground with Jerry, Tom straps Jerry onto a rocket and is able to control it for a bit. In the air with Jerry, Tom sends a rocket with Jerry that shoots out in a curve. Using the rocket while Jerry is alive and away from Tom, Tom throws out a heat-seeking missile that hunts down Jerry. While Jerry is dead, using the rocket will result in a sad, pathetic little rocket that has no place to go, so it simply dies the second it comes out. Both the grounded and air version of this move with Jerry has immense kill power, so be sure to utilize this move as much as you can when trying to kill an enemy. Although you can control the grounded version of the rocket, it leaves you very vulnerable. You can ensure your safety from grounded approaches by placing a mouse trap beforehand. You can get out from controlling the rocket by dodging or jumping. This, however, leaves Jerry to go straight in the direction of which you last directed him at. Using Rocket Mouse then immediately cancelling out from controlling it, Jerry will be sent straight to the heavens. The grounded version of Jerry Rocket can be cancelled entirely. Side special, going fishing. The fishing rod, while funny, is not that great of a move. While using it on the stage, make sure that you are safe and the enemy cannot approach you. While the lure is in the air, if it hits an enemy, it will immediately deal damage and knockback. The longer the fishing rod stays in the air, the stronger the move will be. While casting going fishing, the rod can be angled 4 different ways: high, low, backward, forward. Use the momentum that it gives you while in the air as a way to recover. With the Fly Fisher perk, it essentially becomes a grapple that isn't great at grappling. Tom falls at the exact speed as the lure, so if you're using it to recover, you're just going to bump onto the wall. Unlike Batman's grapple, you cannot cancel out of it mid-flight. With this in mind, it leaves this perk to be less than desirable, making the Dynamite split perk to be the only one you should choose. You can only cancel this move once the circle fills up to 2/3 of the way. Down special. There are 2 versions of this move. On the ground, Tom places down a mouse trap. Any allies that run over the trap with the cheese buff will add cheese to the trap, increasing its power. This move is more of a nuisance and forces the enemy to jump to approach. Use your up tilt or paddle to counteract this approach. Use this move as a way to control the stage or protect you from a grounded approach while you cast moves such as Fishing Rod or a Jerry Rocket. Using down special in the air. Tom drops a stick of dynamite projectile that will explode on its second bounce or if it hits an enemy. The dynamite can be reflected by Tom's racket, but the results will vary depending on the signature perk that you choose. Without the dynamite split perk, you can reset the bounce counter by reflecting it with volley and the dynamite travels significantly farther. With the dynamite split perk, the dynamite splits into 3 once reflected. The dynamites explode upon hitting anything, and it travels significantly shorter. Using it on the stage could be a good way to create distance between you and the opponents. This is especially good to use for when you want to stall for cooldowns. When you're knocked off stage, you can perform this move to tell the enemies to back off from pursuing you. You can also use it at the ledge for enemies that like to hang on walls. Jerry cannot reflect the dynamite with his racket.
The One Piece! The One Piece is real!
I wonder if this means that the Tom and Jerry loops are back.
Can we get much higher? Stop thinking